I just washed my hair, which I'm pretty proud of because depression has not been a fun time recently, and so washing my hair always feels like quite a big achievement. I was trying to think of what to film this week, and there were a few things that I thought of, but in the end I just decided to give a little update, I guess, on how I'm feeling, which is easier said than done when I try to think about how I'm feeling right now. I really wish that I could make all my videos like positive and upbeat. Like, I guess I wish that my recovery journey was more like this, you know, like just each week, like improving. But recovery isn't linear, and it is very much like that instead, and some days, some weeks I struggle more than others, but on the whole I'm, you know, up here. It might have been like this to get here, but I'm here rather than down here where I first started, but I still have like a way to go to get to where I to get to full recovery, where I want to end up. So recently I've definitely been feeling more anxious, my mood has been a bit lower, and that always makes eating more difficult for me. And then I find myself thinking, well, if I'm finding this so hard, like what was even the point of recovering in the first place? Like now I'm in a larger body and I'm still finding eating hard, and it's like, what was the point? And then it's so easy to get trapped in that thought cycle and just want to, or just not want to, but just like not try anymore and just slip back, but that's really not an option. So even though I've not felt the best, I've still been eating as much as I can, and I've definitely leaned more on my support system recently as well. And like I had a really busy day this week at uni, and so my boyfriend brought lunch for me, which was really helpful. I mean, earlier in my recovery that's not something I would have felt able to do, or like if I was in my eating disorder I just would have been like, no I like too many unknowns, you can't make lunch for me, I need to have that control. And I've still been eating delicious food as well, like desserts, like I made cookies and I've been having them with ice cream, which are really tasty. Even though I might not feel like having anything, I know that I need to keep my intake up. I guess really what I want to say is that recovery is not linear, and no matter where you are on the recovery journey, you can always pick yourself up and try again and like try to do better. And that's what I try to do each day as well, like, or each meal, each snack. Like, you don't have to think, oh, like, I feel like eating disorders are really tricksy, and so like we'll think, oh, like I've screwed up my recovery, like I can't eat these foods now, like I need to get sicker and then I can recover. But it's just all crap. Like, no matter how you got to where you are now, like I remember in my first attempt at recovery, I gained weight, but very much in a controlled, rigid, still kind of eating disordered way. And then I thought, well, I can't like let go now, because then like my set point's going to be higher, and like I'm not sick enough to eat those foods, like I'm not even thin, like I can't truly engage in recovery like is shown on videos or whatever, because I'm not even underweight. I think that's a really common issue. Like if I don't look like the stereotypical sort of anorexic person out there, like if I'm not white, female, and really underweight, then I don't deserve to engage in recovery like those other people do. I don't deserve to eat unrestricted or just relax and stop exercise. I don't deserve rest. I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that kind of recovery because that is not my journey. But that's not true. Everyone's journey is totally different, and whatever your size, shape, background, history, you do deserve to eat unrestricted. You do deserve rest. You deserve to have support. I know that unfortunately it's not accessible for everyone, which sucks. But yes, you do deserve all those things. And like those thoughts in your head telling you that you don't deserve it, part of it, yes, unfortunately, is probably the influence of society and diet culture. But a big part of it is also anorexia. And that is really why you need to engage in recovery, to get rid of those thoughts that are telling you you aren't deserving, because you are. And I guess at the moment that's something that I struggle with as well. When I'm feeling low, my depression and my anorexia come together and make a really nice little team. Which is really hard to overcome, because at other times when I'm not feeling depressed, I still have anorexia thoughts, but they're less about being deserving and more about, I don't know, wanting to have control, wanting to look a certain way, wanting to get that feel-good factor that anorexia gives. But yeah, when I'm struggling with depression and anorexia, it is a bit like, well, you don't deserve to eat nice things. You don't deserve to eat every meal and snack. You deserve to feel crappy. And that's just... And if I gave into that, then the cycle would just continue. So I'm not. I am being proactive. So right now on my journey, which is an upward trend, it is an upward trend, I'm, in a little dip, I suppose. Because things just feel a bit harder at the moment. And that doesn't mean that I give up. It doesn't mean that I start restricting or compensating or withdrawing or using any of the behaviours that I used to use in the past. It means that I've reached out for extra support. I actually have 2 therapists now, which is a very privileged situation. So I've reached out to both of my therapists for another appointment. I've reached out and asked for a dietitian appointment as well, just because I think extra accountability can be helpful sometimes. Obviously, I've told my boyfriend that I'm finding things a bit difficult at the moment, and so he's helped me as well. I've also increased my medication for the depression. I've been doing more journaling and just trying to do things that usually make me feel good, even if maybe the effects of them at the moment are not so great. So like painting my nails is one thing that usually makes me feel good. Baking as well. Watching Netflix. I started a new Netflix show. Reading a book. I'm also... One of the reasons that I'm feeling low at the moment is because I'm just really stressed with university work. I think I often feel not good enough in that area, but instead of But instead of working myself really hard and overworking to the point of burnout, I'm doing the opposite. Like, it's at the times when you feel really stressed that you really need to prioritize rest and self-care, which is difficult and ironic, but it's true. So I'm gonna meet my boyfriend now, and I think we're gonna go to the park or something. So I really like going to the park, usually. Today I'm like, ugh. But we'll see. And then I think I'll come home and bake some cookies because I've run out of them. Another thing that I find really helpful during these times is to have like calorie dense foods in the house, just so that I can keep my intake up with like minimal effort. Like, I can just eat a chocolate bar or a cookie, a few cookies. I never eat just one. And yeah. So this has been a real mess of a video. I'm sorry. But I just wanted to remind you that if your recovery isn't perfect, if it's not looking like someone else's, that's totally fine. It's totally normal. Everyone's journey is different. And if you're struggling a bit, you don't need to wait to get sicker. You don't need to wait until Monday. You can really start immediately by grabbing a snack and eating. Okay, lots of love to you wherever you are. Thank you for watching. Bye.